Today, I'm here at Coach Trim in Danbury, Connecticut to learn what it takes to properly and permanently repair my ripped, torn, and worn out seats. Now, over the past 12 years, this vehicle has hauled a lot of detailing equipment, and it's time to fix the damage before it gets any worse. We're gonna find out how the pros do it on today's episode of Drive Clean. Coach Trim was founded by Johann Merkhofer. He has restored some of the rarest cars in the world for over 32 years. In 2001, his son, Brendan, learned the family trade, and together they have handcrafted the finest and most intricate interiors I've ever seen. I know you've seen really bad interiors. I know this one's not horrible, but it certainly has some cuts and rips and tears.
It sure does.
How do you go about repairing these?
There is a method called vinyl repair that will repair the cut that is there now.
Like a quick and easy fix?
Yeah, it's not a permanent kind of thing. That's something like a used car dealer would do to sell a car.
Kind of get the car out the door.
Right.
Doesn't really look all that great, doesn't last all that long kind of
So
thing.
we're going to make a permanent repair. What we're going to do is take the seat out of the car. Since you have the tear in the center section there, what we're going to do is remove that whole center section and replace it with a new panel.
Simple as that.
And then put it right back in the car.
Although there are some methods of seat repair that can be done without removing the seats, they typically don't last as long as replacing the damaged panel entirely, nor does the color blend on these quick repairs look quite right. So Johann insists on removing the seats from the car to effectively replace the damaged area, but his next step was a bit of a surprise for me. All right, Johann, the seat's out and it's up on the table. What's next?
Well, since we're going to have to take this whole center section apart, I was thinking, why don't we do things a little bit differently?
Okay, what'd you have in mind?
I had this idea, why don't we try a different type of stitching, a little bit of a redesign. And
in leather or what material?
No, I'm thinking Alcantara.
Oh wow, the
same color Alcantara.
Oh.
And the stitching will be really nice. It'll give it a whole new custom look. This is going to look like a new seat.
I'm excited. So what's your next step?
Well, we're going to take the seat apart.
I'll leave you to it. Next, the team removes the seat lever to gain access to the interior plastic trim that holds the leather and vinyl to the seat bottom frame. After a few minutes of wrestling with the 20-year-old material, it can be undressed from the frame and foam cushions. The same process was repeated to the seat back until all material was unattached from the body of the chair. All right, Johann, what are you doing now?
I'm steaming the foam. I noticed your foam was a little compressed when we took the cover off of it, and that's what happens with age. It gets compressed.
Yeah.
What I'd like to do is rejuvenate it and plump it back up so that the upholstery will fit nicer and not as loose.
And this is still good though? Like if it was bad, what would you do?
When the foam goes bad, it basically turns to dust. And this is perfectly well. It's nice and soft. We can reuse this, no problem. What I'm going to do is steam all your foam, and then we're going to just reattach all the covers.
And throw it in the car.
And throw it back in the car.
Cool.
Actually, we'll bolt it, not throw it.
Now that the foam is plump and rejuvenated, they focused on removing the section of material that has been damaged. But in my case, Johann decided to change the new material from leather to Alcantara, which requires every seat to be removed so that they all match. Each stitch needs to be cut delicately with a razor blade so no additional damage occurs that would require another panel to be replaced. While the seat is being disassembled on the other side of the shop, Brendan prepares the new Alcantara panel by measuring equal lines in a crosshatch pattern that he will then sew with matching gray thread. Once they're done with the new panel, Ken sews it to the outer edges of the existing seat leather. Then, Brendan pulls the leather and now new Alcantara insert over the foam seat back. These guys are pretty amazing, and I couldn't help notice all their modern machines around the shop. One for thinning out leather so that it can be used on small areas such as piping or trim pieces called a splitter. They also have a few hand tools that have been around for decades for creating holes, impressions, or even designs within the leather itself. Although they have all the tools, machines, and materials anyone could ever dream of, the real secret weapon at Coach Trim is Diesel. Diesel is the shop dog, sporting a stylish, custom-made jacket from his owner Brendan, and who has a vital role at the shop. You see, Diesel happens to be the manager of the recycling department, and he takes his job pretty seriously. If there is cardboard anywhere in, around, or even near Coach Trim, consider it recycled. This, however, is my favorite tool used for skiving leather, which is to say, used to trim the thickness of the leather, often around the edges, to thin the material and make it look seamless when attaching two separate pieces of leather to form one smooth piece.
So what you want to do in that case, when you join them, it's a technique called skiving. And basically it's where you take a really sharp blade, such as this, and basically you want to get the edge to a point like this.
So it's basically just kind of shaved down
Yep.
at a bit of an angle.
Yeah, it's a gradient, basically. The key is to have it really, really sharp. The basic idea is when you seam that,
Now it's
gonna be a
basically one
seamless-
piece as
Yes.
opposed to two
yeah,
thick
and when you
pieces on top of each other.
exactly. So when you go over, it's basically seamless. Can't really see it.
That is really cool.
Yeah, it's a cool little technique.
The last step to complete my upgrade was to replace my 20-year-old floor mats with hand-cut custom carpets in black with black piping, a black plastic heel pad for extra strength, and they even embroidered my company logo AMMO in the new carpet, which added a very cool final touch to my transformation. I want to thank the guys from Coach Trim for showing us their steps and techniques for repairing leather properly. For more information, visit them at coachtrim.net. As always, if you have any questions or ideas for shows you'd like to see, email me at larry@ammonyc.com. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week. Yes, I'm sitting on my non-seat driving. I feel like a little old lady. This is going to be awesome.